We've got some news to talk about up next on Fantasy Baseball Today Express. Welcome into FBT Express on Thursday, March 19th. Happy March Madness to all. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White, and let's talk some news and notes from Wednesday's action. And I just want to start with Gerrit Cole, who made his long-awaited return. First start back from Tommy John surgery with an internal brace. He only pitched 1 inning. He allowed 2 hits, one of which was a bunt, but the velocity looked great, Scott. I know it was only 10 pitches, but I thought this was a really good first step for Gerrit Cole.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, he was good when we last saw him pitch in 2024, 17 starts. It wasn't prime Gerrit Cole good, but 3.41 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 9.4 K per 9. So to see him come in and have that much more velocity, granted it was only over an inning, but it was the first time in a long time we've seen a pitch and there was more velocity. So it looked good. We're still talking mid-late May before his return. So I guess it's just a little extra encouragement to stash him away if you get him for a good price on draft day. Among injury stash pitchers, though, I would still put Blake Snell ahead of him. I'd still put Carlos Rodon ahead of him, probably Rodon over Snell even, because I think they're going to be back sooner than Gerrit Cole.
Mm-hmm. We have some injury updates. Seiya Suzuki has been cleared to resume light workouts and has not been ruled out for opening day. Jeremy Peña will start swinging a bat with both hands this weekend. Scott, we actually just wrapped up a 12-team Roto mock draft where Seiya Suzuki went at pick 89, Jeremy Peña went at pick 91. What do you think about where those players went, knowing that they are dealing with injuries right now?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like either was really discounted at all, does it?
Yeah, not really.
Not really. So that's heartening in a way, because I feel like given the NFBC influence on fantasy baseball commentary, probably outsized influence on commentary, but nonetheless, NFBC, a competition with no IL spots. So players who are injured tend to fall too far. So it was encouraging to see that they didn't in this one. A league like this, in theory, would have IL spots. Sounds like you may not even need it for those two. I think if you do, it would be for too small a period of the season to really matter. You know, come June 1st, we're not going to be thinking about that injury Jeremy Peña or Seiya Suzuki had, in all likelihood.
We are at the point in the offseason where players and prospects are starting to be optioned down to the minors if they are not making the team for opening day. And we got that for the Nationals. Harry Ford and Abimelic Ortiz were both optioned to AAA. Harry Ford, someone who was acquired in the offseason in the Jose Ferrer trade. We were hoping he would be on the roster, maybe push Keibert Ruiz to be the catcher one for that team. But a lot of people, Scott, have been drafting Harry Ford as their second catcher in some of those deeper two-catcher leagues. So would you stash Harry Ford and wait for him, or do you think he's just someone you drop and then pick up when he gets called up?
I mean, a two-catcher, 15-team Roto League. You're going that deep into the catcher pool, which is a small segment of the audience, but still.
Yeah.
Or, obviously a two-catcher in a lonely league. A league that deep, absolutely. You stash Harry Ford, because I think probably why he didn't make the roster to form a tandem with Keibert Ruiz is because he was away from the World Baseball Classic for the time he really needed to be making his case for the Nationals. I'm not saying he made the wrong decision necessarily, but that was a consequence of the decision. New team, new pitching staff, just a lot to learn, and he didn't get that chance. So I imagine if things go for him at AAA like I think they will, he'll be up in short order. If Keibert Ruiz is struggling like he has been in recent years for the Nationals, that'll make it all the more necessary. Or if either Keibert Ruiz or his backup Drew Milas, if he gets hurt, either one of them gets hurt, then Harry Ford's up. So it's honestly kind of similar to Drake Baldwin, the way I was approaching Drake Baldwin last spring. He did end up making the opening day roster, but that wasn't expected till the very end. I thought he was worth just drafting to stash for when he came up, though. And I think Ford in those leagues where you go really deep at catcher is worth it as well.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
This isn't just combat. It's cinema.
Are you not entertained?
The new home of UFC, Paramount Plus.
Welcome back in FBT Express. We're going over the latest news and notes. Lots going on in spring training this time of year, Scott. And we had an injury here on Wednesday. Kyle Harrison left his start with a blister. Now, it's not a major injury, but a blister is something that could linger for a couple of weeks and be annoying for a pitcher to get over. The Brewers have dealt with a couple injuries now in spring training to their rotation. I'm starting to think Brandon Sproat might have a real shot to be in their opening day rotation. What do you think about the state of the Brewers pitching staff right now?
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but you're right. They have been losing several to injury, and Sproat may back his way in there. I wouldn't say he's had a particularly eye-catching spring, but he's had his moments, and it's a pretty good prospect. I don't know. Logan Henderson, it sounds like the elbow issue isn't as bad, so he's probably still in the discussion. We'll see what happens with this Kyle Harrison injury. The blister, that might not end up being a big deal either. But yeah, Sproat, I would say, is still in the discussion at least.
All right, moving on. We learned that Roki Sasaki will be in the opening day rotation. We pretty much knew that, but we got confirmation recently here from Dave Roberts. It has been a brutal spring for Roki Sasaki. 10 earned runs allowed over 6 2/3 innings, 10 strikeouts to 9 walks. I mean, he just hasn't been able to throw strikes. It's pretty eye-opening. He'll get his opportunity to start the season, Scott, but I just don't know how long this is going to last, Roki Sasaki being in the Dodgers rotation.
I don't see how you can feel good about it. I mean, I guess the best thing you can say for Roki Sasaki is that the Dodgers haven't backed off that stance. When they have options, they have alternatives. And maybe they're just thinking, throw them out there, sink or swim. We could always pivot later. Or maybe they see something we're not seeing. I know Roki Sasaki's excuse in this latest one was he was working on a sinker, so that's why he threw so many balls. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, spring's for working on stuff, especially if your job is guaranteed like that. But we haven't seen him pitch well as a starter yet in the majors. His success last year came out of the bullpen. So I have no interest in drafting Roki Sasaki in standard size leagues. And even in a deeper form, even in a lone league, I'd have to get him at a steep discount.
J.P. Crawford is uncertain for opening day. He's dealing with a shoulder injury, and one of their top prospects, Colt Emerson, is a shortstop. He's only 20 years old, mind you. He's only played like a handful of games at AAA, but this spring he's 11 for 41. He's got 2 homers, a steal, and 814 OPS. Scott, A, do you think Colt Emerson is up on opening day with this injury? And B, would you be interested in drafting him in a standard mixed league if he is?
So I don't know that he's earned his way onto the roster. He is a great prospect, but he's only 20 and has played very little at AAA even. The exit velocities this spring are fine. The chase rate's a little high. So I don't know that if he made the roster, he would be quite ready to be a serious contributor in fantasy. Obviously, deeper roto leagues, you'd have to take a shot on the upside. You go that deep into the hitter pool. What are Colt Emerson's chances of actually making the roster? Well, if J.P. Crawford isn't ready to go at the start of the year, I think they're pretty good. Not 100%. They have other ways they could go, but Emerson, I think, just given that he plays shortstop, I think his chances would be really good.
All right, for more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today Express, and we will be back again later this week. Bye-bye.